The full video review is on the way, but in the meantime, we're packing all the stuff we've already found out into one small, digestible video. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com. This is the Sony Xperia Z. Here's what you need to know about this new Sony smartphone. The Sony Xperia Z is the best smartphone the company's released to date. It brings the smartphone lineup into the high-end tier in every way possible with a fantastic build quality that blows past the older Xperia T. It sports a 1.5 GHz quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro CPU with a gorgeous 5-inch 1080p HD display, 13.1 megapixel camera with 1080p HD recording, HSPA Plus connectivity in the United States, LTE in select non-US markets, a 2,330 mAh battery, Android 4.1, Jelly Bean with Sony's UI, and more. They've stepped it up in both the internet internal and external department. They've finally leveraged the value of Sony's ecosystem with connected accessories and Sony-themed apps like Movies, Walkman, and Sony Select. The Xperia Z comes along after the Xperia T and is the second real flagship Sony device to shed the Ericsson branding. It moves from a dual-core to a quad-core processor, a larger display that's now 1080p, which is the new trend in smartphones, more RAM, a newer version of Android, and more. Essentially, this is an improvement in every way from the Xperia T. Onto the hardware. Like the HTC One and LG Nexus 4, the Xperia Z's build quality is industrial and gorgeous, with sharp curves and glass all around. It'll inevitably please those Android fans longing for build quality similar to that of the Apple iPhone 5, and of course glass and metal are the must-have smartphone materials right now. Running Android 4.1 Jelly Bean with Sony's UI, the Xperia Z is up to par with the HTC One, Samsung Galaxy Note 2, and other high-end devices that are on the market are coming soon. Sony's UI still doesn't seem to be as evolved as Samsung's TouchWiz and HTC Sense, but it offers some unique applications like Social Life, formerly known as Timescape, and multitasking applications in the recent apps area called Small Apps. You can add different small apps from Google Play, adding to the level of customization that this device offers. There's a lot to like about this device. The build quality here is fantastic, the phone is gorgeous, incredibly fast, and the UI touches like multitasking via small apps in the recent apps menu are value adds that will do well amongst mainstream consumers. I hope to see it on several US carriers because it's a solid competitor all around to HTC, Samsung, and LG's offerings. The water resistance and dust resistance come in handy as well. What needs to be changed about this device? Sony's UI is toned down in comparison to past iterations, but it could use an overhaul all around to get up to par with TouchWiz, Sense, Motorola's UI, and the other popular Android UI variants in the market. Considering Sony's brand recognition, the company needs to push that ecosystem as much as possible, and while they're at it, throw a bigger battery in the phone. 2,330 mAh is cutting it with a 5-inch 1080p HD display. All in all, Sony's Xperia Z is an incredibly solid step forward for the OEM, and combined with their hardware and software ecosystem, they have a product that can really compete with the powerhouses that are known as Apple and Samsung. That said, this phone needs to come to the US, and Sony needs to work hard to ink as many US carrier partnerships as possible. Carrier partnerships combined with strategic marketing, and this could be a winner across the board. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for continuing coverage of the Sony Xperia Z. Hit us up on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Let me know what you think of this device and the Snapshot review on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron and on Google Plus at gplus.to/PhoneDog. See you back here soon for the full review, but in the meantime, let us know what you think, and as always, we'll see you next time.